Somerville is exploding right now, and for good reason. My name is Alysha. I'm a local realtor here, and I love helping people explore different options for buying and selling homes here in the greater Charleston area. In this video, I'll give you a quick overview of the Somerville area and why it's such a fantastic place to call home. Somerville likes to be known as the flower town in the pines. Now, I don't really get the flower part, but I know there certainly are a lot of tall pine trees out there. It has a population of roughly 52,000 people and is rapidly growing. Part of this is because of its location. You are about 35 minutes from downtown Charleston, you're about 45 minutes from Mount Pleasant Town Center, and about an hour to the local beaches. Within close proximity of Somerville, you also have Boeing, you have the Volvo plant, and you've got the military base. So a lot of people love that area because it's very central to both work and play. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos or know Charleston in general, it's surrounded by water. So a lot of the more historic, well-established areas, there's just not a lot of opportunity for growth because you're kind of stuck with the land that you have. Somerville is more inland. There's plenty of land to build on, so that's why a lot of the growth is kind of being pushed out that way. You're also less at risk for flood. A lot of places in Charleston, Mount Pleasant, West Ashley, they do require flood insurance because you're literally on the coast. You're not much farther inland, but because you're just a little bit farther in, you have less opportunity for flooding, and a lot of places don't require flood insurance as a result. Now, all of that growth has really spurred the demand for new developments and communities. And y'all, there are some fantastic new build master plan communities out in the Somerville area. It's too many to talk about in this video, but I will be doing a deep dive into each one. So make sure you click the subscribe button to be alerted once those videos go live. Some of the cons of living in Somerville, again, like I mentioned, you are a little bit farther from the downtown Charleston area. So depending on what you're doing for work, that may or may not be a good thing. You've got the military base, you've got Boeing, you've got Walmart distribution center, you've got tons of industry right in your neck of the woods in Somerville. So if you're working for one of those places, I wouldn't worry too much. If you are commuting to downtown Charleston, again, it's not terrible, but it just takes a little bit more planning. It can take anywhere from, on average, without traffic, about 45 minutes, but you can get stuck in traffic for a good 15 minutes to an hour. I-26 is the main corridor, the main thoroughfare to get you down there, and it can get pretty backed up. They are working on expanding some of the highways and roadways, but again, that's not going to happen overnight, so you just got to be a little bit more patient. Me personally, I've lived in big cities. I lived in San Francisco, where it wasn't uncommon to commute 30 minutes to an hour to and from work, so it didn't bother me as much, but something to think about when you're moving to that area. Now for the pros, and I certainly think there's more pros than cons. Some pros of living in Somerville. So because you're more inland, you do have a less risk of hurricane and flood. So a lot of homes don't require or have very little flood insurance on them. You've also got some really great dining spots. A lot of downtown Charleston restaurants have actually opened up second locations in Somerville. So you don't even have to go downtown to get some of the world-class dining. You've got Coogan's Porch, Page's Oka Grill, Hall's Chop House, all within a few minutes of your home in Somerville. As I mentioned, you've got some beautiful master plan community. If you're wanting a new home that you can customize and make your own, Somerville is the place for you. There are tons to choose from. Some beautiful places. You've got Cane Bay, you've got Carnes Crossroads, you've got Nexton Midtown. You even have some beautiful 55 plus communities like Del Webb. So many options to choose from. And a lot of people that I actually work with, they originally start their search in Mount Pleasant, West Ashley area, but ultimately end up in Somerville. And why is that? Again, you really get a lot more bang for your buck. Average home price is about $382,000 compared to Mount Pleasant, which is about $900,000, and West Ashley, which is about $482,000. Now, some things to keep in mind. Somerville is part of two different counties. So you've got Dorchester, which is mostly Somerville, and then you've got a few parts of it in Berkeley County. So that can affect your taxes. It can also affect your school zones. So if you're moving with kiddos, just make sure you double check that. There's also a lot of movement in the school zones. Because of the growth, they're constantly kind of having to change the school zoning. So there's something to keep in mind. Also, if you're exploring the option of a new build, like I mentioned, there's tons of great communities out there, and I will be doing more videos on each of them, so make sure you click the subscribe button to watch. But the new home build process can be quite overwhelming, especially if you've never done it before. So my best advice is to work with a realtor who can help you navigate through that. A lot of the communities have on-site reps, and they're amazing, they're great, they're very knowledgeable, but at the end of the day, they work for the builder, they don't work for you. So my best advice is to make sure you have somebody working with you through that transaction. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. As always, if you have any questions about Somerville or any neighborhood in the Charleston area, please feel free to reach out. You can call me, text me, email me. I'm here to help you find your next home. Thanks for watching.